Hi, I'm Scott.
And I'm Grace.
And this is the Offbeat Podcast.
We're bringing the party out of the studio, getting a little offbeat, and everyone's invited.
Right along with us as we get down and dirty with the Inspire community.
Don't forget to rate, review, share, and subscribe. Hello, and welcome to the Offbeat Podcast. We've got a little special host with us today because we've got Mr. Scott Mansell as our interviewee.
This is the moment I've been waiting
and
for.
Ariel. So Ari is going to help me out today. And
I've been waiting for the call up for months. When
I
will it be
don't know
my
how many
show?
times I've done this, but I've just got myself tangled in my headphones.
yeah, I was like, if you're going to watch the video, Scott is panicking.
Go on
It's
YouTube.com.
a wild panic to try and get my headphones on.
This is why you should be on this side, not that side.
Yeah, no, the hot seat's getting too hot there.
He's getting anxious because it's payback time.
So we're excited to hear about Scotty and his journey to Inspire.
So good to be here.
How did you find Inspire and get the role?
How did I find Inspire? So when I knew I was moving to Brisbane, which I can come back to later, but when I knew I was moving up here, I needed to find, obviously, a studio that I wanted to teach at.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I followed Inspire on Instagram.
Probably.
And, you know, they were a competitor from where I was working in Adelaide. And I was kind of like, oh, who are these guys?
Ew.
Losers.
Yeah. I was like, oh, no, too much. And I actually reached out to Alicia Portelli, who some of you guys might know. She's Sydney-based, but she used to guest instruct at Inspire. I reached out to her and she sort of said, you know, get in touch with Mark and Kate at Inspire. I'll let them know to expect to hear from you. And, reached out. I think I didn't even know who to email, so it was like inquiries at Inspire. I was
To
like,
whom it may
I'm an instructor.
concern.
Please give me a job.
Please
I move
help
in 4
me.
weeks.
Sounds a lot like my application, actually.
Yeah, legit. So I emailed in and was like, yep, happy to come in for an audition or whatever the process is. And I think I'd been in Brisbane for 9 hours.
Yeah.
And I came in, met the team. It was just before we reopened after COVID, so everyone was in the studio still getting ready.
Like 20 bikes.
Yeah, that was weird.
So, Braden and Mark and Kate were all in there, and I auditioned a couple of tracks in front of Jake and Ed. I've never sweated so much in 2 tracks. I was between like nerves and Brisbane heat.
Yeah, true.
I was
Jake
just
and
a
Ed
sweaty mess.
as a partnership to perform in front of would be so
so
intimidating.
100%.
Like just deadpan from Ed, and Jake would just be like, "Come on, come on."
Yeah.
I'd
It
shit
was like,
myself.
who does this guy think he is?
What were your audition tracks? Do you remember?
Tell us.
Who Run the World?
Duh.
Beyonce.
Scott.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think Jake and I have spoken about it afterwards. It was so heavily packed with choreography.
He's
I'm just imagining
you need to
this.
tone this down.
4 minutes of the most complex choreographed routine.
Is that what you used to do in Adelaide?
Yeah, it was. And I was like, well, I need to show them exactly what I can do in 4 minutes.
It's like when you audition for The Voice and you're like, you got to do every run, you
Yeah.
got to do every trick in
Yeah.
the book.
Yeah. So every piece of choreography I've ever known was in that 4-minute track. And then I did a sprint track. And here's the thing. So in Adelaide, we taught obviously rhythm ride, but the sprints weren't all on the beat. So we'd have it was more sort of interval focused.
Yeah.
So you'd sort of slow
Blasphemy.
down. Yeah, you'd slow down off the beat and then you'd accelerate onto the beat for the chorus.
Yeah.
And I pressed play on my track and Jake and Ed both just took off straight onto the beat. And at that moment I was like, oh, fuck.
And you're like, I'm stuck on the bike
And I was like,
now.
well, I have to do this. And I was like, I don't want to look a dickhead. So I just did the same thing, which I think it also contributed to how much I was sweating.
yeah.
You'd never
Because
done a
I'd
sprint
never
on the
done
bike that long.
a 5-minute sprint.
And that was the last time Scott
And
ever
it was the
finished
last
a
time I ever
sprint.
He got
spent
the
that
job
long on a
and
bike.
yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. So that's how I came to be at Inspire.
Oh, well, we're
What was the
very
reason
glad.
you moved to Brizzy in the first place?
Bit of a change of scenery, change of lifestyle. My best friend Beck, who also works at on reception
And everybody
now.
thought you guys were married.
Yeah.
And I
I
was like,
thought they were married.
yeah.
Yeah.
And because
Yeah.
we'd like stalk your Insta and it was like, you and Beck. And we're like, oh, okay, you must be married. And we're like, I don't know if he's
Sometimes
gay.
I'm
And
still
then-
like, I think they are married just
yeah,
without the
yeah,
fun part.
you definitely are.
Yeah. No, look, you guys wouldn't be the first ones to think that we were married. We do get it a lot.
Do you remember when Sylvie messaged, was it Holly or the group chat, and she was like, wait, what? He's gay?
Yeah.
I was like, have you done his class yet?
Yeah. You've
Have you
met
spoken to him?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Beck was working in Adelaide at a hospital down there. I was working from home, and we'd sort of talked a little bit about relocating to Queensland, and I guess COVID was sort of the perfect time to do it. Beck had secured a job up here. I went to my boss and was like, hey, you know how we've been working remotely? What if I was really remote and moved to a different state? And I worked for a great company that they were really okay with it. And
That's amazing.
within sort of 4 or 5 weeks, we'd rented out a house. And
It's meant to be.
yeah, I have oversimplified it. And if Beck's listening to it
She'll come
right
get
now,
you.
she's going to come for me because she did a lot of the organisation for the move. And
Married
I
couple.
talk about how easy
Yeah.
it was.
For you.
Yeah, for me, it was a lot easier. For Beck, it was a lot of stress.
Well, speaking of other jobs, I feel like every time I talk to you and I'll be like, oh, I went to the doctor today. You're like, oh, I used to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Or like-
Different hat. It was
Yeah. Or like, oh, yeah, I went to the chemist today. Did you know I'm a pharmacist?
yeah.
So can you just give us like a brief rundown of the 3 million jobs you've had up until now?
Fingers in a lot of pie.
Yeah, why not?
So obviously, instructing has been the one constant throughout my life. I've done a bit of everything. So I've worked in video stores. I also did a stint working for a radio show. Hit 107 or SAFM in Adelaide. So I was doing a heap of promotional work for them.
My girl.
And look
Yeah.
at you now, circling back to it.
Circling back as a promo
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
I've done that sort of led into some stuff for Channel 9 as well. Again, just doing some promo stuff for them. On top of that, I work in insurance.
Which
I
I
have-
feel like when people find that out, they're like,
I know.
what?
Like I have a proper adult job.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
Yeah, so I've worked a lot in sort of injury management and injury compensation. At the moment, I'm working for an insurance company within a behavioural insights team. So we look at a lot of the ways that we communicate with our clients, improve customer experience, and a lot of the way even the way we talk to our staff and we train our staff. So we deal with that.
Yeah.
Which is super
There's some
exciting.
wild stories that you've told us and videos and
Jesus.
oh my god.
Yeah.
I feel like you have two, you're like Hannah Montana. Like, you have two,
Always
like,
a story.
and I feel like if the people you worked for in insurance found out what you did on the other side, they'd be like, no, you got the wrong guy.
Yeah, they hit me up. They'll be like, oh, I saw this thing on Instagram and it kind of looked like you.
Was that you in the splits?
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh, yeah,
Falling down
that
the
is
stairs.
me.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I
So
love it.
it's
You
definitely
really
a
get the best of both worlds. Oh, yeah. Play the tune.
You're obviously very well known for your dance moves. Where did you learn them? Was that just like off the bat?
At
doing
home in
Les
your bedroom?
Mills,
Legit.
YouTube?
So, growing up, my sister danced a lot. So my sister did a lot of sort of cheerleading and dance.
And you're jelly.
I played the drums.
Oh, cute.
I learn something new every day about
right?
you.
Yeah.
Fun fact of the
Yeah.
day.
Charlie
He was a
triangle.
So I was a drummer for probably 6 years.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
Years, I think. I had a drum kit at home. Like
Travis
my parents
Barker.
soundproofed my room so I could have drum kit in there. And I remember it used to be on a Monday night. My sister would have dance practice, and that would start at like 6 o'clock, and my drum lesson would start at like 7 o'clock. So Dad would take us both in there, and I just have to sit through the first, 45 minutes of my sister's dance class before I was dragged away to my drum lessons. And I used to sit there watching them dancing. But,
Just body rolling in the corners
just
quietly.
secretly learning the moves stealthily.
And then
And I guess some of it sunk in. And
You're obviously rhythmical. I mean, drumming is like, you need more rhythm than anything. So you've obviously always had that in you.
yeah, never really struggled with music and
Or with anything, by the sounds of it,
Yeah.
Scott. He's just good at he's one of those people, that you want to hate them, but you don't.
the trick is to
got
only do things
everything.
you know you're going to be good at.
Yeah.
And then you come out
That's
the other
where
side,
I
everyone
went
just-
wrong.
everyone just thinks you're good at everything you touch. You just be very methodical about what you choose to do.
Got it.
So did you get inspired to do cycling instructing from doing all your dance moves, or how'd you get into spin?
So spin was something I never thought I would teach. So I started teaching group fitness, started doing my training around that when I was about 15.
Yeah.
So
I was-
young, my
Wow.
God.
Yeah, I was this like super quiet, shy 15-year-old.
I can imagine.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And at the time I was going to this gym and I would just go, it was like, I'll just join up and go to the gym, it'll be fun. And I walked past and saw like an old school, like aerobics class. And I was like, I could get into that. And so I started doing some classes, and along the way, one of my good friends, Amy, who was the sort of group fitness manager at the time, pulled me aside and was like, if you're interested, we'll train you up to be an instructor. And so did a heap of sort of Les Mills modules, but I was always, spin was something I was never going to do. I was never going to get on a bike. Found it boring, wasn't into it.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the way that changed.
I feel like also
vibe.
regular spin, like you still probably wouldn't
Yeah.
catch me dead in a regular gym spin class.
No.
No.
So if that was my introduction, I also would have been like, no. I think once you, clearly as someone rhythmical and someone who dances, once you start rhythm riding, you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can get down with this.
Yeah, 100%.
That atmosphere.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So we've got little quick fire questions. You know the
All
drill,
right.
Scotty. So who's your dream teen teach?
Oh,
As if I don't know this already.
Christina from
Oh
Arizona.
my gosh, yeah.
I started following her on Instagram during one of the lockdowns.
Yeah.
And
She
she has a
is
studio
epic.
over there, and she's just incredible.
Love of my
She's
life.
just got
Yeah.
she's got
She's got it.
Like,
I don't know what it
oh.
is, but she's got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And on that as well, so I've also started following one of her instructors, Faith Morrison,
I love Faith.
who again is like just
You guys.
incredible. The way the words she comes out with, and the way she structures her sort of inspire moments
Yeah.
is just next to nothing.
It is that thing
Gives me
that's so
chills.
natural. Like sometimes you do a class, you're like, oh, do you really believe what you're saying?
Yeah.
Everything that comes out of their mouths, you're like, okay, you're a psychologist.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, how dare
Unbelievable.
you jump into my mind?
Literally.
And teen teach at Inspire? Oh, me. Okay.
Oh,
moving
yeah,
on.
Ari, moving forward.
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a good answer. I love that, Scott.
Spender or saver?
The fact that there's a pause here.
I know. I do have that sort of split personality where I like to save.
The big trips.
Like I like to have that sort of comfort of knowing I've got savings there.
Yeah.
But I'm also terribly spontaneous in
Tesla?
Yeah,
Yeah. But you also work your ass off. I feel like
you do.
when
Yeah.
you work that hard, you're allowed to spend.
yeah, and
you
I
know?
think that's a lot of my motivation is for working is around wanting money and
Yeah.
wanting to have nice things.
Enjoying
and
your life, yeah.
Enjoying my life, yeah.
Your favourite drag queen? Great question.
Good question.
There's a lot. Me and
There's
Scotty,
a
like
lot
every
to
single
work
week,
through.
we're like, okay, drag race.
Yeah, in
Freaking
terms
love
of just
Drag Race.
like straight up talent,
Yeah.
Rose from I think
Oh.
Yes.
I have a crush on Rose.
Rose is hot.
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 The eyes and the
Yeah.
lashes.
Yeah, just straight up talent, Rose. Or even I was rewatching UK season 3 the other day, and Ella Day.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Again,
Yeah.
just these queens that can,
Pull it
act,
out.
dance.
They're the musical
sing.
theatre ones. They're
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
so talented.
Yeah, super talented, super inspiring.
Most embarrassing teaching moment.
Where do I?
Yeah.
I feel like you don't get embarrassed.
think-
That's what I love
yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
You just own it.
You're like, oh well.
Yeah.
I've fallen off the stage more times than I can count.
Yeah.
Like.
Because you're a sweaty man.
Because I'm sweaty and I like to move around. For a spin instructor, I spend very little time on a bike.
And you
glad
get
you
away
said
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
And I'm so jealous because I get off the bike for 10 seconds. Everyone's like, what's she doing?
Yeah.
What is she
Where
I
are
see
you going?
videos of you off the bike and I'm like, is something wrong?
Yeah.
She needs something.
You get on the bike. I'm like, boring. Get off. Yeah.
The other week, okay, so quick story. The other week I was teaching a class. I think Dom and Georgia were back in town, and I was teaching maybe straight after Dom.
Yeah.
And we were at like easily track 3, like the 13 or 14 minute mark of the class, before I went to get on the bike and realised I was still wearing my Birks and I had no shoes with me.
Oh my God.
And so I like run to the door, pop my head out, and JK and Dom were there, and I was like, guys, I need a pair of 44s.
They're like,
And
you're a
Dom
jag.
messaged me after. He goes, oh, you're like,
Were they broken?
well,
Yeah.
but
What
how has it
happened?
taken you so long to realise this? Like, you're 3 tracks in. Like, I haven't even attempted to get on the bike by this stage. Like,
Track 5
What's
is
a
when I
bike?
start.
What's a
Like-
bike?
take it
Oh,
off
I
the
need to
stage. I don't
teach?
need this.
Boring.
No.
But in terms of embarrassing, I did stack it at Inspire a few months back, going into probably the final track. I think Mark was even in the class, and I've gone to walk off the stairs.
Mark
and
probably didn't even notice.
He didn't. He
Head
did
down.
not miss
Yeah.
a beat. I
Yeah.
flew up. My legs went up. Ass went down. I
Ass
had
up.
bruising up through my spine
Oh my
from the
God.
stairs, and just tried to obviously bounce straight up and.
Yeah. That didn't
Remember
happen.
the time that you slid into the wheel and almost decapitated your own limbs? Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a danger zone in there.
Did a knee slide, got a little carried away, and just slid straight into the slide wheel.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hiked.
Cute.
Yeah.
What time do you usually get home after a hike?
If I'm hiking, or if I tell you I'm hiking, that's some sort of
Cover
cry
story,
for help.
yeah.
I've been abducted, and this is my way of telling
No,
you.
when you went for the hike one time and then you
Oh.
didn't get home like 2 days later.
Oh, I just
Like,
read that and I was like, I've never heard
Have we
Scott
scrolled
say.
to someone else's questions? Oh yeah. Okay. So that was a time. Beck and I met up with a couple of our friends, and we were trying to be all very wholesome with our activities. We're like, we always just drink together. Let's go out and do something. So we went for a bit of a hike. We went down to sort of Wellington Point. It was very wholesome. We got, some hot chips. It was really nice.
Stunning.
And then as we were driving back towards the city, and one of our friends just said, oh,
The sun goes
maybe
down.
you should come back to our house. We'll have a few drinks.
I see. Hike. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we'd left, I reckon, midday one day, and I think we left their house at maybe 4:45, 5 o'clock the next morning. It was a very long
day.
hike.
That is stamina. That is
I know, you and
endurance
Beck are
and fitness. Not
Yeah.
anymore. They're so well behaved now.
Yeah, I'm
Sober.
Until
sober
Bali.
2022 sobriety.
couple. Welcome to the fun club.
Yeah, it depends who you ask. If you ask Beck how my year of non-drinking is going, the feedback is that I'm boring.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
you're great.
she needs her buddy.
Yeah, and it has been an adjustment, I guess, not drinking and just getting used to trying to find fun.
And not going home at 3 o'clock in
Yeah,
the morning.
I've got a lot more sleep this year.
Yeah.
Um,
Reading.
Yeah, my reading challenge is going great.
I love that. Look
Oh.
at you
Yeah.
becoming wholesome.
Right.
Is this your midlife crisis? You've become
so.
wholesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, this is mean. Augie or Rosie? I would never ask such a thing.
Look,
Senor.
I will preface it with Augie's technically not
Not your
mine.
dog. Yeah.
It's a smart move, my friend. Good call.
So, obviously, in terms of that, I would have to pick Rosie because Augie would have,
She's been around.
yeah. And
I'll take Augie.
Yeah, Rosie is my OG. She was a rescue dog. She's
She
got
is
her
the
own share of
cutest.
problems, and
She's got baggage, that gal.
she does.
Yeah.
She does. She's the reason I steam cleaned my carpets this morning.
Honey.
So yeah, I would go Rosie on that.
Fair.
Yeah.
Your favourite song to teach too.
Literally depends what day of the week.
Amen.
And what's out? The Taylor Swift. As soon as Taylor Swift comes out.
This
okay,
love, it was on that night.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, quick switch.
It's the only account on Instagram I have notifications turned on for is Taylor Swift
Duh.
because you never know what she's going to do. You
When
never
is
know
her
when an
next
album's
thing
going to come out.
Well, we don't know what's coming next. What do you
Oh.
think is coming next? 1989 or Speak Now?
Here
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Okay.
She's thought about this.
Welcome to the Taylor Swift podcast. I think she's going to do a double release. So there's been a lot of focus on the number 22. She's been heavily pushing that song in a lot of her TikToks. She put up a post the other week about, country artists that have crossed over into pop. So Shania Twain's when
Which is
Shania Twain
1989. Yes.
she had an album that she released. It was a double feature. One of it was the songs recorded as pop. One of it was songs recorded in country style. It was a double release, 22.
Scott, this is
She's gonna
genius.
come out with 1989 and Speak Now as a double release.
That is genius.
Okay.
Do you know my
I've given
theory?
myself shit.
I feel sick.
I love it.
I'm not ready. My theory. Video clip, re-release, her worst video clip ever, Out of the Woods, one of her best songs.
Best song, worst clip.
Who's it about? Harry Styles. Video clip, Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, breaks the internet, I die,
Yeah.
life's over.
Yeah.
Lock it in, Eddie.
Okay, this is recorded.
I don't even know what
We've
the
got-
first question was.
Moving on.
Our next segment is high bar, low bar. So your best and worst moments in the studio.
I don't really have any worst moments that sort of come to mind. I guess it's easy to sort of get into that frame of mind. Everyone has days where
You mess up a bit.
you don't want to be there. You sort of, if you've had a day at work or you've just got other shit going on,
Totally.
but sometimes the last thing you want to do is have to go into the studio, get up and
Dance.
be a positive
Yeah.
vision for people.
And you always have energy.
I was going to say, I think
Yeah.
what people love most about you is even if you're having a bad day, no one would ever know.
100%. I think that's something I've probably been, I am fairly conscious of is, people are there for their own reasons. They're not there for my reasons. Like if I've had a bad day, that's not anyone else's fault.
Yeah.
And I can sort of turn that around and use that as a way to snap myself out of something. Like if I'm in a shitty mood, I can switch on and it's almost like a fake it till you make it sort of situation.
100%.
You pretend you're in a good mood, pretend you're in a great mood, everything's fabulous, and you come into class, you don't even remember why you're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's therapy
yeah,
as an instructor
100%.
and as a client.
100%. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 there. You get
Yeah.
a low bar and a high bar, like a Taylor Swift 2-for-1.
It's all
Everything-
coming
it's
together.
all
Full
thinking
circle
back.
moment.
She's probably going to listen to this.
I
She's
Yeah,
going to
I
go,
think so. Yeah.
oh my God, they
We'll
guessed
send it
it.
to our
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to finish off, I think we've got a little picky of young man Scotty. Oh!
Okay,
We were
hear me
saying
out.
before, we're like, I don't think Scott's ever looked like a child. Like, he always has that
That's
man.
Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, stance.
That's like a little Marky Mark.
Little bomber jacket. Oh, you're so cute.
You are
Very
gorgeous.
power stance.
Yeah.
Hey, who run the world?
Yeah.
Scott. Yeah.
It does have a very Benjamin Button vibe to it.
Little button nose.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to your little young Scott?
I think probably my advice would be to give more things a go. I'm super grateful for the opportunities and stuff I've had.
Yep.
But growing up, I think you can sort of, it's that typical teenage thing that you don't want to be seen to be passionate about something or be enjoying something. And, there's been times where it's been something that I've really enjoyed or been really passionate about.
Yeah.
And I won't express it. I won't, delve into it because I go, I don't want to
Too
seem like I'm
excited.
too excited about
Yeah.
something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest bit of advice I can give to young Scott and to anyone. Like, don't yuck someone else's yum. Like,
That's a
and
good one.
35 careers is not enough. There's always
there's
room for more.
If someone's passionate about something, if someone's
Yeah.
excited about something, like, it's not up to you to bring them down. Like, support them on it or leave them alone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Be a yes person.
Yeah,
always.
100%. Yeah.
Love it. Well, thanks, Ari.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I look forward to my next invitation.
Yeah, so we'll have to catch
Yeah.
you when you're back from Melbourne.
No, we're not talking about it. Moving on.
Where's Melbourne? Doesn't
No.
exist.
It's over. We love you, Scotty, and
Love
everyone
you.
loves you. That's for
Thanks,
damn
guys.
sure.
Thanks for having me.
Yay. Well, thank you for listening to another episode. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.